Hello there, this is Cassweather with another lesson on World of Tanks. Today we're going to talk a little about gun dispersion and aiming time. So if I'm looking at a gun and I see the stat of .400 dispersion at 100 meters, what does that mean? Gun dispersion is basically when you're looking at that little circle, and I pulled up a picture of one. Gun dispersion is this little circle that you see whenever you're aimed at another tank. So if I'm at, say, for instance, at a on a IS-6, what did it say we were at? It said we were at gun dispersion at .403. So if you're looking at this little circle right here, from that center where that green little arrow is in the dead center, it's .403 to the outer edge there where that green marker is, where it goes around. That shell is going to fall within that .403 range at 100 meters. There's a 95% chance that it'll fall within the range of that circle. And that circle will shrink. Now, if you look at the aiming time will let that circle shrink down to even a small little thing. Now obviously that's at 100 meters, so the further your tank is away from this instance right here, the harder it is to hit, the broader the range is that shell will fall in. So you always, closer is an easier pick as far as where the shell is going to land, but at a further range, you got to wait till that circle shrinks up really quickly. So there's gun dispersion, and then there's also aiming time. So if you're looking over here, there's two differences there. Gun dispersion is the circle, the smallest it gets, and then 6.6 seconds is how long it takes to get down to that smallest circle. So your dispersion, is going to be wider when you start, and that's why that circle gets broader and broader. Now, for you noobs out there that don't understand what that means wait on your shot, especially if you want to make it count. Wait for that circle to get as small as it needs to get, unless you're right up on a tank and you're brawling, and then you don't really have a need for that because you're going to be so far close up on it that you don't really have to worry about the aiming on it. Most of the time, you just got to worry about picking your spots and maneuvering. So we're gonna play with the. We're gonna show you two different types today. Today's going to be the KV2. This is the derp on it, and as you can see right here, terrible dispersion. It's like 1.5 meters on. It's like over 1 meter of dispersion at 100 meters. So it's not the best as far. That's a 3 foot. That's a 3 foot. What is a meter? I think it's a little over. It's a little under a foot. So if you talk about that's like a little under a yard. So either way, at 200 meters, which is sniping range, there's no way you're going to hit the broadside of a barn. And a tank's a pretty big thing, but still. And the aiming time, it takes forever to aim the thing. So let's run a battle and you'll see what I'm talking about. And watch how slowly it takes for this thing to aim up. Okay, so we're going to go harbor. And we're actually low man on the totem pole. We're going to ask them if they want to go right. That's my pick if we were to go anywhere. We're going to load up with the second AP right here. This one's a better shell. It's just got I think it's got a better pin, quite honestly. And the value on it's not that higher up, so we're going to go with that one. Okay, so see, as I'm moving this circle around, okay, it takes forever to shrink up. And as I'm still and it'll still shrink up as I stop moving. See, I'm starting to shrink up. Okay, so you got to be fully stopped for it to shrink up all the way before it even go. Usually over here, if I'm playing with somebody with derp, I'm gonna be up here. It looks like everybody camped up here. Let's see if we can't get behind some guys. And this guy's a fool. But he's a dead fool. See how long that circle takes to get loaded down, I mean, look how tiny it'll get, but it takes forever to get there. This T-21's going to try to hit this sand mill. Let's see. I can't help out over here. He's going to be spotted. He might be great. Look out, short. We're going to pop one anyway. Now, see, it barely flew up and left of that aiming circle, which we're thrilled with. I've seen that thing just, especially if you run. Look how big that circle gets right there. That's just crazy. So you don't want to. You definitely. It's not something you want to be running around on the move as far as the derp gun is concerned, because it will just be so broad unless you're just running up against somebody. That's the only time that I would use that on the run. Is if you're just coming right up behind somebody. But this might be gravy right here. Alright, let's go find these guys. These guys are over here. I'm going to tell them we're ready to fire. There's a guy right there. Alright, see? I'm waiting for it to circle down. 5, and boom. We took 2 shots, but we were 700 alpha, so $700 worth of damage. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, this, you got to think of what tier this is too. You know, there's I think the SU maybe gives off that much damage. That derp on that KV2 is ridiculous, but it takes forever to fire the thing. That's why you got to wait. You're going to take some punishment. Alright, so for instance, let's see. If we're doing all things being equal, let's see. Okay, let's try the Vic. Alright, so you'll see again the aiming circle will get smaller in a heartbeat compared to that KV. I had to wait. You saw me wait. I wish let me go back through and run through these, but the aiming circle will get smaller, faster, and it'll, you know, you're obviously going to do less damage, but that's what they're going to be talking about when they're talking about gun dispersion. Alright. See, even on the run, that aiming circle is small. And look how small it gets. Just running around. On this one, I just kind of like to maybe see what's going on up here before I start rushing into battle. And all you guys out there, maybe take some time before you start running up into battle. Let's see. You might want to give it a thunk or two before you start running up on people, especially when I'm the low man on the totem pole. Look how small I got. See, even if I go around 1, 2, 3, 4, even under 4 seconds to get really small like that, which is great. You know, you saw with the KV, we had to become fully stationary, and then we had to hold it there, and it still, you know, it took forever. Look, 1, 2. Even that, see, that one went low. It went within the circle, but it was still low. It's not all going to fall like dead center in the circle. It'll fall somewhere within that circle, but we're so far out right now that it's tough to keep it in that circle. See, now watch if I fire a shot. If I move it real quick, fire a shot. That one went high and right. Let's see where this one goes. I'm gonna aim just at this house right here. Ready? Let's see where it goes. Dead on. I think some of the skills now, that if you do a skills-based thing, that you're going to find that it will help you fire more center line than not. But if you're not going to your skills will help in that regard, but it's not going to always make it perfect. But the higher your skill set, the better you are, the more accurate you're going to be, quite honestly. But the lower your skill set, the less accurate you're going to be. I can't believe I missed that guy. This little E50 is just thinking he's just going to sit there and snipe. This second ridge line, they can't see you because you're out by 300 meters, and if there's somebody up there spotting, you're just going to lay waste to everybody. But that first little ridge line right there, everybody can spot you over there. And this little VK's got the most accurate little gun on it too, and it's got a pretty good pin. See, that was high and left. That's pretty much dead on. That second little ridge is a gold mine, especially if those people go down. That's just stupid. But anyway, all right. So that's my lesson on gun dispersion. Let's check out the VK before we head out, and I'll show you kind of what the dispersion and aiming time is in comparison to the KB2, because I think it's worth the time as far as that's concerned to check it out. We're waiting on our game to load. Waiting on our game to load. Come on, Wargaming. Let's make it happen. This is just sad right here. There we go. Yes, the battle is finished. Everybody's dead. Let's go for it. There we go. Alright, 18-13. We were low man on the totem pole, so that's not bad. Alright, so gun dispersion on this guy. That's a tier 7. So it's a tier up as far as the gun's concerned. Dispersion is minute, so it's very tight dispersion. Aiming time is less than 4 seconds. Both those things equal, just such a more accurate shot. Now, of course, you're not getting as much damage because look at, I'm firing 11 and a half rounds a second, and my pen is 160, whereas on the KV2, what were we? We were, I'm 640, and I'm only found 3 rounds per minute. So it's all give or take. You got to play them too. You got to play them to their strengths. KV is not going to take. It's going to take forever for it to aim, and so you might as well sit back and take your time and you got to drop back into coverage as if you're done firing, and then reload and then pop back up. But you learn how to do those things effectively, and they're both fine tanks. But that's the summation on dispersion and the aiming time. Hope you enjoyed it. And when next time you're picking up a tank or looking at the gun specifically, make sure to look at those 2 factors because they will matter when it comes down to battle.